All right, multitasking over here on a Tuesday. Drinking some coffee, sauteing up some sausage. All right, so this is just a really great one-pot wonder. You got to be sick of hearing me say one-pot wonder. I know I say it constantly, but that is how I cook at home. I don't want to do a ton of dishes, although my husband's gotten pretty good about helping with that or doing the dishes afterwards. But I don't love doing a ton of cleanup, and I love a big nonstick skillet. It gets used a lot in my house. So I do a lot of these. So these are all pretty tried and true. And this one's a big hit in my house because my son Jack loves any kind of dumpling or gnocchi. So this is out for him today. He loves it. Luke will pick around it and just eat the sausage. So let me talk about what's going on in my skillet over here. I am using kielbasa. Every once in a while, to me, kielbasa just hits the spot. It just hits the spot. So I'm doing some kielbasa, but instead of just tossing it in, I'm gonna go ahead and brown it up first for a couple reasons. One, that browning creates a good texture on it. And then two, look at the yummy bits it leaves on the bottom. That's really gonna season those onions really well. So I brown that. I'm gonna get it out of the pan here, but I'm gonna leave those drippings in there. Ooh, she hot. Let me do this real quick. Beautiful. Just go ahead and set these to the side. We're going to stir those in a little bit. And now I've got these drippings in here from the kielbasa. So I'm going to get my onions in. Ooh, we love a sizzle. And you can gauge it. If your kielbasa left a lot of fat in the pan, you're in a good spot. Mine looks a smidge dry, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit it with a little bit of our stock market olive oil, just a little, and let those start cooking down. Let it absorb all of that yummy drippings there from the sausage. Now let's get a few other vegetables. You know I'm gonna do zucchini. Why? Because it's one of the vegetables my children eat. So then it goes in everything. So this is a great skillet to use up any garden vegetables you have going on right now. Anything you have left, mushrooms in this would be really nice. Fresh herbs in this would be really nice. I just do a nice small dice of zucchini. And then I'm also going to use a pepper. Yesterday we had Ledgestone Vineyards here, and they have this amazing garden that they get all their produce from. And he left me, Chef Danny left me a beautiful purple pepper, which has now joined our garlic girl over here. We've got a fun little, the poor stock market. They come and they decorate so beautifully, and then I just start adding vegetables to everything. But to me, that is decor. I always call my pantry at home my jewelry box, because I don't have a jewelry box. I don't really own much jewelry, and but my pantry, ooh, she pretty. I'll show you someday in one of my videos. All right, so I got one medium zucchini here diced up. Let's give my onions a stir around here. They're softening up, getting a little bit of color on them, kind of getting some of that char from the bottom. Let's go ahead and add our zucchini right in. Let that start softening up. And then instead of that purple pepper, we're gonna go ahead and do a red bell pepper. My mother is coming on the show soon, and I'm not gonna ruin anything for you, but she may or may not be making a green bell pepper dish to troll me on my own show. So be on the lookout for that in the next week or two. She's coming. All right, so I'm gonna do a nice little dice about the same size as the zucchini. We left a question on our Facebook today for a topic we want to talk about tomorrow. Where Abby and I love talking about all the back to school stuff because her and I both have young kids. We're in the thick of it. So we put a question up on our Instagram or on our Facebook that asked if there's any teachers out there or retired teachers, what one piece of advice or what's one thing you would want us to know, parents or students, before school starts. So if you're a teacher out there watching this or a former teacher, go to our Facebook. Let us know tomorrow what we can talk about. What's one thing maybe you want us to know, or one thing we worry about but we shouldn't, or I don't know. We loved it. We love teachers. We love getting their perspective. Did I not cut that one? What a goofball. Oh, I did. So head on over so we can talk about it tomorrow. All right, so we've got our veggies all softening up here. Let's get some seasonings. I do paprika. I do smoked paprika, about a half teaspoon of each, and a good pinch of salt way up high, MITG, Good pinch of pep. Stir that up, let that smoked paprika really start to bloom in those vegetables. Let's go ahead and get our garlic in here. I got 3 cloves going on here. This is one of those recipes you want to use garlic. You use garlic. This is one of those recipes if you have a bag of frozen peppers and onions, throw them in. Throw them in. This is so adjustable. This is the easiest one-pot wonder skillet. You need to take some shortcuts on this one, you take some shortcuts. All right, garlic's going in. And with the garlic, I'm gonna get my gnocchi in. Now let me throw this up here so you can take a look at that. This is shelf-stable gnocchi. You just find it in your pasta aisle, and it couldn't be easier. Now, if you wanna make homemade gnocchi, obviously I've made that on the show, and you can easily find that under our recipes online, ricotta gnocchi. But sometimes you just need the cheat, and it works fantastic. My son is obsessed with these. I break them up. I put them in with my hands because they can get a little sticky. So I just kind of break them up like this. There we go, beautiful. And now on deck, 2 more things, some chicken broth and some Lamer's heavy cream. Mix that up a little bit. Let's get our sausage back in. I told you this is the easiest dinner. And then chicken broth and a little Lamer's heavy cream, both going in. That's gonna cook that gnocchi and give that a good stir. We're gonna bring this to a boil for about 3 to 5 minutes, just till the gnocchi gets nice and soft and the vegetables have softened. And let me show you what this looks like. You can see the color on these sausages when you brown them. That creates such a beautiful texture and really caramelizes and brings out those flavors. To me, necessary step. But still, it's a dinner that's coming together in 10 minutes. You can take the 2 minutes to saute up that sausage. Now, we're gonna let this come to a boil. Once it does, we're gonna do a switch out here because we have one ready to go. That doesn't fit. Move that over there. So now, we've got our sausage skillet here. It got nice and creamy. The gnocchi is softened. Now, here's where you don't have to do this part, but why wouldn't you? A little Parmesan in this would be wonderful. I love about a cup of our Simon's. They have the award-winning mozzarella, so I do the mozzarella right in there, just about a cup. And then you can either leave it on top and put the cover back on and just kind of let it melt over the top. For me, I do the big stir-in. Gives it that creamy, mac and cheese vibe that we all love, that comfort food. Look at that. Easy, delicious, hearty. You got the vegetables. Let that one come to a boil. The crew's gonna eat a good big lunch this week. Here we go. 10-minute dinner, couldn't be easier.